We're recording, Chad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Call to order the February 4th.
Recording in progress.
Yes, sir.
Call to order the February 4th, 2026 City Council meeting for the city of Gearhart. Are there any declarations of conflict of interest?
No.
Nope.
Yes. The OLCC license renewal, if we were to take any action on that, I have a house with member was employed by one of the applicants, not what,
Okay. I don't see that's too much of a conflict.
financial.
But you're not earning anything. Okay. All right, so I want to go straight to the executive session meeting minutes for Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. I will take a motion or corrections and then a motion.
To approve? Second.
Any discussion, correction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, pass. Now is the regular meeting for the city council on Wednesday, January 7th, 2026.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of the city council went on Wednesday, January 7th, 2026.
Second.
Any corrections? Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now, moving on to the work session of the city council Tuesday.
There was a council, I'm sorry, work session? Minutes? Is that where you go?
Yeah, it's right here.
We're just doing that.
January 13th.
I'm sorry, my mind goes somewhere else.
Yes, okay, that's all right, Justine. I travel all the time. Okay, so the work session of the Tuesday, January 13th, 2026.
I make a motion to approve.
Corrections?
Can I just get a question quickly on page 3, line 4, escalation to second quarter 2026? Should that be 2027? These are the cost summaries that we went over. It's at the end of line 4.
I would have to look at the notes.
Administrator Sweet went over the cost summary, which included net hard costs 5.2 million, margins and adjustments 2.4 million, escalation to second quarter 2026, 0.9 million, and soft costs 1.5 million.
Do you remember that?
Did you intend to say the second quarter of 2026?
I think that's correct. I will double check it.
I think it's correct too.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't have that.
it's the only,
I can verify and amend it incorrect.
Okay,
I'll make a second then.
okay, we have a second with a correction possibly. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Moving on. Everyone's got a copy of the planning commission report.
Yeah.
Any questions for Chad? Okay, having here none, I'm going on to my report. So today was a wonderful day in the neighborhood. I was up at the elementary school with 5 fourth grade classes, talking to them about if I were mayor contest, because it starts today and we want to get these kids rolling on it. We actually had someone out of Seaside last year get to number 4, 4th place in the state. So if we can get them up into the top 3, they'll be money winners. So it was very nice that that happened. So the kids are excited. I don't know how many are going to participate, but I think I counted 9 children in the 4th grade in Gearhart. I mean, obviously. All is from Seaside, and Barb Knob from Cannon Beach, I think she had 3. So they combine with Seaside because it just doesn't make sense. All right. And of course, you just heard us go through 3 different other meetings, and there's a few other staff meetings I went to, but that's all I've got to report. First report is going to go to Sharon.
Question. Is the Ira Mayor, is it just 4th grader?
Yes, just 4th grade. Just 4th graders for the poster contest. There's another one for essay in the middle school, and the high school is a multimedia presentation. And it's quite showing.
The only thing I have to report is Chad and I met with Cameron LaFollette, who is the head of the Oregon Coastal Alliance organization out here. One of the things that they do is to make sure that beach access is maintained, among other things. And we discussed at length with her the 13th Street issue, because so many people have had questions and concerns about public access being cut off up there. So that's all I have to report.
Fine.
I did get comments that, residents on Pfeiffer Heights, love that they got their street clean. Like clean sweep or whoever does that, got it all cleaned up around there. They have a lot of tall trees that do not beetles. I did check reviews a couple times. I met with Chief Gregory over the noise disturbance ordinance. And I just want to make a statement, has to do with what's been going on in our country. And so please bear with me. I want to add my voice to the growing numbers of United States citizens, both local and those living far away, who are appalled by the policies of the Department of Homeland Security. Immigrants should be allowed dignity and due process. We should be allowed to peacefully protest against and report illegal activities of ICE agents. I call on our local law enforcement officers to protect peaceful protests and as much as possible, protect the rights of our immigrants who are a vital part of our community. Please call on state and national elected leaders to urge them to find a long-term solution to our immigration programs. And I passed out a resolution that was before the City Council in 2017, March of 2017, Resolution 933, a resolution to declare Gearhart a welcoming city and affirm Gearhart's support for other cities and countries in the Pacific Northwest who have declared themselves sanctuary cities. You have a copy in front of you. I could keep reading,
I have.
but I will just stop at that. I just feel like it's a good time to affirm what we believed in 2017.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Dana, do you want to go?
Sure. So I attended a CEDAR meeting this last month, and they are planning the annual Clatsop County Job and Career Exploration Fair. It'll be held on Tuesday, March 3rd at the Seaside Civic and Convention Center from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. They have the entire convention center building, and they're excited to bring to the next level this year. Also, the Small Business Development Centers has a business startup boot camp starting March 31st, and anybody interested in attending that should join through Clatsop Community College. Been keeping my eye on what's going on with the gas tax referendum, the new Marines at the state capitol, because it may impact some of the things we're doing here. Specifically, there's a movement to move, the referendum was intended to put this before the voters in November. However, there's some movement at the Capitol. Some people are trying to move it to May. And so we need to keep an eye on that as far as our timing when we go on the ballot, because if they're asking for, if there's another tax referendum on the ballot, it can impact our request. Also, hearing from people on both sides of the aisle, very good things about the TLT disbursement changes. And most people are very, they're convinced that it's gonna go through in the short session, which means that we here in Gearhart should talk about our TLT, the future of our TLT and what we should be doing with it. And I think that's it.
Preston?
Well, I've just been having a number of discussions with residents and contractors here in and around Gearhart as to how we're gonna deal with the remodel of the fire department. There's been a lot of positive suggestions, and there's been a lot of questions about how we're gonna go about doing this. So I think Chad's got the architects, and we're supposed to have some hard numbers and what their plan is going forward. So anyway, that's all I got.
Thank you. All right. Chief Gregory.
Thank you, sir. Not a whole lot to talk about today. January was a little bit easier than December was. That was a pretty busy month. So things have slowed down. Officers have been kind of fighting the flu bug that's been going around too. So that's been very interesting. As you hear me, I've probably coughed for the last, it's just now calming down. So thank goodness. Other than that, really it's been pretty quiet. Any questions?
I had the same thing. It's the only reason I'm able to wear the jeans I'm wearing tonight.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it was a rough one. I think everybody's,
Yeah.
a lot of people were suffering
I've
from
been
it.
sick
So
since October.
Okay, well, thank you.
thank you.
Hope you're feeling better soon.
I appreciate it.
Chief Fama.
Thank you, sir. We kind of had the same thing. January wasn't as busy as normal. We had 40 calls for service, 19 in the city, 18 in the district. We only sent out 8 3 times, 2 for structure fires and once to help CSEP with water rescue. And then that federal mandated nearest transition that we're still working through, we're close. There's still some growing pains, so I'm hoping next month I'll have the year-end report. And then the monthly log will look a little bit different than it has moving forward. We'd love to get that for you guys as well. And then if you didn't know, we had an opportunity to have a live fire structure last weekend. It went really well. At the intersection of Oster and Railroad Avenue, that went really well. Have some good training and stuff for people there. So, if there's no questions, that's all I have.
Any questions? Thank you, Chief. Master of money.
The most significant revenue was the city's quarterly transit room tax, and it remains stable. I think it was like $11,000 more this year, but sometimes it's just a matter of lapsing of when people get it in. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we're necessarily ahead, but we're definitely stable and consistent. In expenditures, the police had a required shared contribution payment for the new countywide software. It wasn't that much money, but we did have to contribute just a little bit. The majority of it was funded through a grant, but we did have to contribute a little. And the Public Works Street Department had a purchase service payment for the Pacific Way sidewalk replacement repair that was done for a strip of sidewalk down there. The city also received several return checks for the water accounts. I don't know if people were just having a hard time in December and then writing, insufficient funds and some other problems in the month of January. It's kind of unusual for us. And we had quite a few of them this month. They do show in the check detail as an electronic withdrawal. So if you were wondering, if you were looking for there, what an electronic withdrawal, the bank just takes that money away from us when we get an NSF check. So that's what that is. With several months of actual data in our general fund cash flow, things look as we anticipated. On the radar for monitoring are two of our franchise fees revenues, Charter Communication / Spectrum and Recology Western Oregon Waste. Both of them are unexpectedly down from last year. And granted, it's not a significant amount down, but when utilities or things that consistently tend to not decrease are reduced, it is a cautionary flag. Gearhart can't afford to have any revenue sources decreasing, and it seems unusual that those two are decreasing. So I don't know if people are maybe changing services. Recology did not have a rate increase, so maybe people are switching from the more expensive curbside to, where they come to your door and pick it up, or and they're just seeing some things. So we'll see. We'll monitor that and flag it. Also, court expenditures are higher than we budgeted. The primary reasons for the increased court costs were due to moving court to a monthly schedule. We used to have it more of on a quarterly basis, but it went to monthly, as well as the new court software, which we talked about that we had to purchase. And we didn't know that we needed it at budgetary time, so we didn't put it in there. City staff have been working on efficiencies and have adjusted the court start time to the regular staff working hours. Court used to be at 5 o'clock and we've changed it to 2 o'clock. The judge was okay with that, so it also helps the court clerk with some logistics on getting some DMV reporting done. We have so many hours to do it, and so it was a nice change for her to be able to have court earlier and then still actually have some more time without having overtime added to get some of that paperwork done right after court. A budget appropriation transfer will probably have to be done by the end of the year. The police department's technology budget is smaller. We haven't spent as much in there because we were anticipating overlapping softwares. So we're thinking maybe some of the money could come to support that if it's needed. We'll wait and see. Even making some overtime adjustments, it might not be necessary, but we think we know where we would be able to get that money from. And at this point, the city is projected to meet all of its obligations, but of course, our ending fund balance will be impacted, but we're moving along steadily.
Thank you, Justine.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to Chad Jacobs.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Chad Jacobs from the Interim City Attorney's Office. Hope you all are doing well tonight. I don't have much to report other than I know this is on your agenda later tonight about the City Attorney Services update, but I told Chad that I would just reiterate one of the points in the memo that we appreciate you all thinking of us and wanting to make sure that you're moving forward as expeditiously as possible. But I just want to reassure you that should we need to sort of withdraw as an interim city attorney, we would certainly give you all plenty of notice and not make sure that you have representation in place before we sort of would ever move on. And so I just want to provide you that assurance that we're here and won't leave you in a lurch by any stretch of the imagination. We have ethical responsibilities under state law to make sure that that happens. And we also just, believe in local governments and supporting them, and we would never want to leave you in a lurch like that. So just want to make sure that I know that was a topic of conversation, and want to make sure that you all can rest easily knowing that we're not going to sort of pull up and drive away on you. So we're here until you guys figure out what your next steps are. With that, I'm happy to turn it over to Chad or answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions for Chad? Thank you for that reassurance, Chad.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, we'll move on to city administrator report.
I'm gonna keep mine short, tonight. Not a lot to report. Lots of things going on. Lots of, conversations about the fire station and the remodel process. A lot of work with, police and fire chief on that. We have, multiple meetings within the community. Melissa is talking about street dance again. It looks like that she's going to volunteer to do that yet maybe once more. So we are looking for somebody who want to take that over in the future for her. Or work with her on that. But other than that, I just want to see if the council had any questions for me.
No questions? Thank you, Chad. All right, moving on, Gearhart to visitors, Gearhart volunteer.
Good evening, I'm Tanner Rich, I'm the vice president for the fire department. I believe Josh already sent the email out at that time of year again for the fireman's ball. I'm just asking permission for us to host the ball.
Okay,
Remind me, how much did y'all make last year? Do you have a ballpark?
Great question.
23,000.
I want to say before anything was minus, I want to say 43.
Record setting is what I remember.
Yeah, it's each year you guys have done better than last year. Well, I just want to say thank you to you all for doing that. Because, I mean, that's just amazing that you guys show up for us every day. And yet on top of that, you're willing to spend so much hard work on that night. And I know how much hard work you guys put into it in order to raise even more funds to serve this community. You guys just rock in all ways. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I want to introduce you folks to, this is Tanner Rich. He's one of our longtime volunteers. He is working up the ranks within the fire department, taking on more responsibilities with us, getting more education on his, especially EMS and that sort of thing. He's doing a really good job. And he's also the grandson of Bob Chisholm, a longtime, old-time volunteer, Gearhart. So here we go with another generation.
Right, okay. I make a motion that we approve the request to hold the ball.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Excuse me.
Go. Yes,
I think next year, when you guys come in, I think we would like to, I'd like to know what the numbers are. Okay? Because I can remember when Kurt and I used to put it on, it was very, very successful.
Yeah, I could ask the
And-
treasurer, he can get
And
this.
then what you guys do with the money. Okay? Let's move on to vote.
all right, so it passed.
Yep.
Okay,
Did we vote?
No, we didn't vote.
We
We had
didn't
a
vote?
first, we had a second, we didn't vote.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks for catching that. That's why you're president. Okay, we're going on to written and oral communication. Anyone wishing to address the city council concerning items of interest not on the agenda may do so at this time. All remarks will be limited to 5 minutes per person. Requests to comment electronically must be submitted by email to the city recorder at info@cityofgearhart.com no later than 4 p.m. the day of the meeting. In-person attendees wishing to speak are required to sign in prior to the meeting. We have one person on the sign-in sheet, and that is Robert Maury. Will you please state your name and address?
My name is Robert Mooring, address is 271 D Street, Gearhart. And first of all, before I start, I want to thank Paul Lyman for her comments. I totally support him, I just do appreciate it. And Preston, thank you for involving other people that are contractors in this community, looking at this remodel. I know two people on the fire department, Josh and Chad, that's it. That said, we got involved with the fire department in 2004 because of Andy. She let us know we had a need for 8 people meeting EMT training, and there was a need for $8,000. We years ago donated money to the Oregon Community Foundation, and we're mandated to give a certain amount of grants out every year. We granted those 8 people for that, and I don't know who the people are. 6 of those people I understand who passed the course that Andy taught are no longer involved with the Gearhart Fire Department. 2 of them are, I don't know if they have passed, they passed Andy's course because he's a qualified instructor at Idaho Fire. But they have to pass the national exam before they're EMTs. I don't know if they've done that, and I don't know if 2 people are still there in the department. Subsequently, Andy had asked us and mentioned that there was a need in 2025 for 3 more aides. And so we, again, to check with our community foundation and funded 3 more. Don't know what's happened with those people. Chad, there was a 4th person, and Andy, 4th person who we were not involved with, who was funded to get EMT training. Don't know the outfall from all of that. Andy continued doing that training after she left Gearhart. I'm assuming one of the people she trained was her replacement. The problem I have is I think we have a serious problem in our city in terms of trying to retain quality people. Andy now has a job. She has 250 reports. That's between Southern Washington and Southwest, Northwest Oregon. Right now, I was visiting with her today. She's got 38 people that are EMS people. Most of them are paramedics that she's responsible for in Gearhart in Clatsop County. She's also fully qualified to teach. That's why we supported Andy to begin with, because we had training right here. They don't have to go up to Clatsop Community College in Astoria. We have made a drastic mistake losing someone like an Andy because of whatever problems we have within our department. When we hire somebody new that has no qualifications to be a training officer, who happens to be not trained right now, he was trained by Andy taking his first class. No idea if he's passed the class, no idea if he's passed the national exam. We have made a terrible mistake for our community. It's something that needs to be fixed. It's something that if you go into a bond, I guarantee you will come out. Chad, another thing is, we've had this discussion before. We have fire and we have EMS information on everybody on this department. It should be on public record and out there instead of saying, oh, we've got all these volunteers. It's public record. Get it, put it on the site because it's going to be needed if you're going to pass a bond. Because we will make sure I will personally make sure people get involved and at least know that they should be getting this information. When we are looking at our former bond at $33 million, I'm thinking we have 12 to 14 qualified volunteers right now. If once we volunteer, we obviously support volunteer fire departments. We don't support the management of our fire department. And so I think you should take a hard look at it because you're going through a bond, and I thank you for your time. Take care.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah. Good.
All right, so we'll go on to mail correspondence. And one is Clatsop County got $1.03 million in federal funding to improve emergency communication infrastructure. Yay, Clatsop. Next one is a memorandum from the district support for the U.S. Postal Service, talking about the fact that if you know someone who wants to take over the contract, here's the telephone number, 541-315-7170. Talk to Sharon. Is that Sharon? Sharon? Anyway, that's the contact person for taking over the contract. We have a letter from Patty Ribbonab that is talking about the fact that we need to have a post office in downtown Gearhart. We have nothing to do with that. That is something between the U.S. postal service and a contract worker who takes over that. We are not involved with that. I agree, we do need to have the post office downtown, but that's as it is. The Lewis and Clark Timberlands has written us, telling us that they're going to be doing a thinning operation up by our property at the top of the hill. St. Vincent de Paul has sent us a letter of thank you for our donation to them. And we've gotten a letter from Kathy Zimmerman stating that it's a petition signed by all these people on both sides. I honestly do not know what SOB after a person's name is supposed to mean.
Sons of Beaches.
Oh,
They're
Okay,
the
all right,
off-road
I-
group that's up there.
yeah, okay. I had a different idea in my mind.
You weren't the first one to ask.
Okay, they're talking about coyotes in a reserve. Of course, the coyotes are a natural resource. They are owned by the state. The city cannot touch them, cannot harass them, cannot do anything. And ODFW has been informed about the concern, but they have no complaints logged into their computer system for these coyotes. So if you've got a complaint, you need to get a hold of ODFW. We are not the go man for this kind of situation. Public property, they need to handle. Moving on. Ordinance and resolutions, ordinance 953 and ordinance repealing ordinance 930, known as the contractor work hour ordinance. Chad, you want to give us the synopsis?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mayor and Council. The synopsis is at the council meeting last month, the draft ordinance 951 was reviewed, addressed specific enforcement and clarity concerns centered around definitions within the current contract with the work hour ordinance. Council had the option to adopt the amendments, make further edits, take no action to wait for a comprehensive edit for the city attorney down the road. Alternatively, ordinance 953 died in lack of motion when council voted 4-1 to instead repeal current contract for work hour ordinance 930 in its entirety. Following the meeting, legal counsel advised that adopting an ordinance to document the repeal was necessary and appropriate. It is attached. You have your motions there to read it, to make changes, or take other actions. And the recommended motion is a new motion with a vote must be taken for the council's previous approval to repeal the ordinance. Legal analysis, if approved tonight, the second reading would occur in March with the ordinance taking effect 30 days later. Or actually repealing 30 days later.
Okay. There,
Motion to approve attached ordinance 953, reading once by title only.
Second.
there's a second, so is there any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to say something.
Okay,
I would like to go on record, that I am opposed to this ordinance. Myself and multiple other Gearhart residents that I've spoken to over the past several years have been very appreciative of having one day a week when there is not a lot of noise pollution. They very much have enjoyed having that one day a week. And I do not feel that this resolution is a compromise. I felt that Dana's red line of the former ordinance was a compromise. I do not feel this is, and so that's why I'm opposing it.
okay. Is there anyone else with a comment? If you've all gotten a copy of ordinance 876, would you look on the second page? I'd like to come back and look at this as being part of a provisional contractor hours where it goes general prohibition, No work shall be performed within city limits of Gearhart by any contractor, commercial developer, general contractor, or employees between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. No work shall be performed within the city limits of Gearhart by any landscape construction professional, lawn care contractor, or employees between the hours of 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. the next day. These are, and then there's exceptions, which are in case there's an act, an act of God and it's necessary to fix something or do something.
I think everybody got a copy of that.
They, oh, I'm so sorry, I thought everyone did. Anyway, I'd like to revisit this and just have those in. Because I am going to vote for this repeal of the other ordinance.
So here's my thoughts on it. I am still against a prohibition on Sundays. I think there's great difficulties, but as we mentioned in our last staff meeting, there's a problem with enforcement of this, the way it was written, for most homeowners, and that's what I objected to, is how it impacted our homeowners and their ability to get work done in their homes that they wanted to get done in a timely manner. But so the reason that there's an enforcement problem, let's say I invite Preston over to my house and I want him to work, and it's a Sunday, and the police come out and they want to say, no, you can't do any contract, you can't do any work. And he says, well, no, I'm just working, for free. I'm volunteering. She's my buddy and I'm helping her. And the police say, no, I don't believe you. And I'm going to go ahead and cite you because you have a sticker on your car that says you're a paid contractor. Well, the only way that he can prove that I'm actually at that time paying Preston is to do search warrants and other things that are way too much work for the enforcement of an ordinance like this. However, on the other hand, to Carrie's point, there's a big difference in that situation than a developer who's working on a vacant home that is not even habitable now, and he wants to work on it on Sunday night at midnight because he's got a timeline and he's trying to get people into that house, which could be a problem, maybe not now and but in the future, if we get back to where building businesses are booming again, developers, this could be. I agree that the old way it was written could be helpful to law enforcement under those circumstances. They could easily prove that that's not, that that's somebody who's being paid to do that work and find a prohibition. Most cities I worked in law enforcement, of the 4 or 5 that I worked in, they all had some type of hours. However, I'm gonna go on record again saying I don't like the Sunday prohibition at all. I don't think it's good for our homeowners.
Okay, Preston.
Okay, so I thought that we were gonna tie this in with the noise ordinance. I mean, there's nothing that I can see to keep a painter from hand painting, if the weather's nice on a Sunday and he's had rain, for half the week, and he's gonna have rain on Monday and Tuesday. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be able to go on and do exterior painting. Same with the plumber set and finish, inside the house. I mean, I've always objected to that, no working on Sundays. I personally think that it should be tied into the noise ordinance, and if somebody, like, if you're running power equipment or something like that on Sunday, well, then, you're disturbing the neighbors, and it's like Sharon said, she likes that one day. But on the other hand, the neighbors can fire up their chainsaw or fire up their lawnmower, or fire up their leaf blower, or fire up anything they want, and there isn't anything that the neighbors can do about it. So, if we're gonna welcome contractors to come in and work in Gearhart, we need to make it to where they can actually make a living.
I agree. So let me ask you this, if we were to go back to the way it was before they enacted the Sunday prohibition, the old ordinance, was that a problem for contractors? The one that the mayor just read off? just the limitation is between the hours of 6 PM and 8 AM the next day?
Yeah,
Was that a problem, do you
No.
think, for contractors?
No.
So if we were to, let's say we repeal this, but we, in the future, we go back and we adopt this again, would you have a problem with that?
I think that when this ordinance first came out, they were developing Richard's development up there in the north end of Gearhart, right?
Yes.
Right now, you know, he has very limited numbers of lots that are left. And I think that those guys understand that their neighbors are probably putting gallows up if people.
So you don't see any need for any hours even for them, should that situation up there change?
Yeah, I don't think they should be running park.
Well, I think we should, under council concerns, I do have the noise ordinance. I met with Chief Gregory and we went over some possible changes we would make. And what I'm hearing y'all say is we need to consider these when we make further changes down the road.
Right. I'm still prepared to go forward with the vote tonight.
Oh, my.
All right, so we have a motion, don't we?
Yeah.
And a second?
Yes.
Is there any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed?
Yay.
Okay, 4-1. All right, moving on. City attorney update, Chad.
Sir, thank you. I'll get there real quick. All right, so we discussed this a little bit, but at actually our session last month, council discussed the next steps for the city attorney RFP. There's no intention stated for the city to reopening the RFP yet. However, Councilor Cochran requested to be ready to go when the time is right. Attached is the draft of the RFP with specific criteria regarding Oregon municipal law experience, strong land use experience, election law familiarity, broad general municipal law capability, established Oregon legal network, and the ability to work effectively with small coastal city is not been identified. The only additional edits would be to apply a timeline, which cannot be done until the decision to officially reopen has been made. Also, the council's request staff recently spoke with Chad Jacobs, and I think he updated you on that as well. So I don't need to read the rest of this. The report serves as an update. No action required by council is required this evening unless you had any questions or additions. You can do that during the meeting or anytime.
Does anyone have any additions or comments?
I have a question.
Okay.
On scope of services, it says that the attorney will review, draft, or approve ordinances. So they or approve. They don't really approve them, they write them.
Maybe they would approve it for the, legality of whether or not the ordinance is good, but yeah, that might be better written. Agreed.
Sharon, you have something?
Yeah, I would say under the proposal evaluation criteria, the fourth bullet point, compatibility with city values and expectations. I think it specifically should say something along the lines of familiarity with the city's comp plan.
Okay.
Got that, thank you.
Anyone else with a comment? All right, let's move. New business, liquor license application review, special event, annual Gearhart firefighter ball.
So with the ball, we always have the distributing come down with the beer trailer. I'm just asking for us to asking for you to allow us to obtain the liquor license to have booze and alcohol this year. I know,
What do you mean booze?
You're talking about beer and wine, right?
yeah, very much.
Okay, thank you.
I make a motion to approve the GFD Association liquor license application for the annual firefighter ball.
I second.
I'll second it.
Okay, thanks, Preston.
I'd like to,
Is there Any comments?
When did,
Discussion?
who's paying for the insurance? Is the city paying for the insurance or is the district paying for the insurance?
That would be a chief question. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay, because when I was in the department, we used to have a rip roaring one. The district always paid for the insurance. And it was held on city property, and the insurance was to take the liability away from the city. So, I mean, it was just something that came up as to who's fronting for the insurance. Is it the district or is it the city?
Right, and I'm not 100% sure on that. Like I said, you have to talk to Josh or the treasurer to see who takes on that.
I mean, you guys have a meeting beforehand, don't you?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is like my first year, kind of getting into this side of the planning of it. Usually I'm just on the ground.
One of the eight guys.
Yeah, pretty much just help set it up. So it's kind of my first year to get into this side of the stuff.
Okay, well, I'm still second it. And,
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you for your time.
Chad, we've got Gearhart cleanup day. Do you want to give us the synopsis?
Yes, Mayor and Council, thank you. In honor of Earth Day 26, staff is requesting permission, or requesting your permission to hold the annual free Gearhart cleanup day on Saturday, April 18, 2026. Staff proposes Recology deliver the area in front of City Hall, 420 Gearhart, same boxes as last year before, and the many years before that. The boxes would be available for residents of Gearhart, no trash at no cost from 8 to 11. Previous years, bins were delivered in the evening before the event to help Recology. However, last year, residents had filled the bins by morning, and Recology had to leave at the start of the event to dump them, leaving those who arrived for the event at an appropriate time, having to wait for over a half an hour. The request this year states bins must be placed half an hour prior to the event to avoid this problem. So we have our recommendation there. The financial analysis on this is the estimate from Recology is not quite available yet, and that's the way they've been doing this for the last couple of years at least, if not 3. Our application request is pending. The request states the same terms as last year. Recology compliance requires the total tonnage available to be quoted. Last year, the city quoted portion after donation was around $2,500 due to consistently exceeding maximum tonnage, meaning lots of garbage. Following the event, our actual invoice totaled $22.29. Our highest ever, surpassing 2024's $1,900. We anticipate our figure for this year's event to be around 2,000 without the extra morning hauls from the late night dumpers. Should Recology deny a request for donated services, because they do donate some of their services, the total cost for the city to hold the event would range from $3,600 to $4,300.
Thank you. Justine, what do we have on the budget for this?
We have always been putting in just kind of this, around the 2,000 amount for the matching.
Okay,
So anything above that is not something that we anticipated. It probably could come because we reduced state revenue share, it probably could come out of that fund. Because we didn't give as many grants.
okay.
I've got a comment.
Let's have a motion and then we will go to comments, if that's all right. No motion, okay.
A motion to approve up to $2,500 for the cleanup.
Okay,
I'd like to revise that. I'd like to make a motion that the Gearhart does have the cleanup day on April 18, 2026. And have Recology deliver 420 yard drop boxes and 2 3-yard drop boxes for recycling electronics on the same day. no cost for, from 8 until 11 a.m.
I'll withdraw my motion.
Thank you. Well, we've got a second motion here, and is there a second for the second motion? Okay. Well, then I'll make a motion that we go ahead and give permission to the city to do the Gearhart cleanup day. And we will not put a limit on the amount of money, except for say $4,300. And we'll do that, and then if it goes up that high and Recology removes, that's not part of the motion, I just, sorry. Anyway, my motion is that we go ahead and do the Gearhart cleanup day. Okay? No,
I second it.
okay, thank you.
I mean, I thought that was my motion.
You have more words than yours.
Oh, okay. I second it.
Can we have some discussion now?
Would you like to withdraw yours then?
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
and you're
so,
going to send.
So we have a motion, we have a second.
Yes, and the motion is give permission for the city of Gearhart with no financial limit.
to $4,300.
Oh, you want that? in there?
Yeah. I'm not gonna go spend $10,000.
Okay, just checking.
Right. Okay, now we have discussion.
I think with our rising costs and our budget getting as tight as it is, I think that we know that in the future, in the very near future, we're going to have to start triaging and figuring out which services we're going to provide and which services we're not going to provide. My understanding is that when we initially started this a few years ago, it cost us approximately $800. And it seems like it continues to increase. And my understanding is what we're doing is we're actually paying for people to dump their garbage. It's not like we have a lot of yard parks and porch appliances in town that we have to worry about people leaving in their yard. So it's, it's a community benefit for all of the community's tax dollars to be put towards this. Instead, what we have are people coming down and dumping, and we're not even, are we even sure that they're citizens of Gearhart? Or is anybody verifying that they're citizens of Gearhart and not somebody from Seaside coming up to drop his TV in a dumpster? So we're just saving them the minimal cost to go drop at the dump, and it's coming out of our budget and we're getting very tight. So I would be okay if we did not do the cleanup day. We have staff time involved in this. And also from what I understand, some of the citizens that show up on this are less than appreciative and they're downright rude. So I'm just gonna say that. I'd be okay. I'm not gonna vote for it either, and I would be okay if we didn't do it.
Okay, thank you. Preston,
Okay, so everybody in Gearhart gets from Recology a sticker that they can take their yard debris up to the dump and dump it for free, okay? Now, the fire department can help us out with this. If we have people that are monitoring who it is that's dumping stuff, okay, which is gonna involve personnel. So, Como can get his volunteers down over there. And everybody has to show their actual residence in Gearhart before they can dump.
well, that's one way to cut down on.
I mean, when I showed up last year at like 8:30 in the morning, both of those containers were full. And I know as a contractor, I was doing a job on Broadway years ago, I was doing roof tear on. I had Anderson, Recology, Anderson in those days, down the 40-yard box in Broadway. I showed up at 6 o'clock in the morning the next morning, and it was full.
I believe it.
Okay, So I think that, I mean, the one way to be fair to everybody is to make sure that when we announce it, if it passes, when we announce that we're gonna have this cleanup day, is that everybody needs to bring their sticker the ecology has given them, otherwise you don't get to dump.
My issue is still the amount of staff time that would be involved in that, and then forcing the volunteer firefighters that are supposed to be volunteering to firefight, telling them that they're now going to be trash monitors, I think is.
It's part of the volunteerism.
Well, I think that's disrespectful to them.
So I also have Dana's concerns about the cost of the city. I mean, this is a huge luxury for people. I don't understand why people can't drive their stuff up to Astoria. And I don't think we should be spending money. The alternative would be to charge people a nominal fee to dump their stuff here. And you'd have to have somebody obviously collect their money.
Okay.
I'm concerned about spending more than $2,000. If Recology doesn't want to donate some of the services, I wouldn't do it at all. I agree with sharing. People can go up to the dump, it's not that far. You got a sticker that came last week. You opened your mail, you got it.
Okay. Any other discussion? Motion is to have the Gearhart cleanup day. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Okay, it fails. All right, we're not doing it. All right. OLCC license renewals. Chad? Synopsis, please.
Yes, sir. Attached to your report is the list of the OLCC liquor licenses in Gearhart that are eligible for renewal. Current licenses are set to expire effective 3/31/26. Chief Gregory has reviewed the names of all renewing entities and has no comments. ORS 471166 establishes the process for local governments to make recommendations to the OLCC. A list of reasons for unfavorable recommendations are also attached. Your council options are there written out. Take no action, or provide a written unfavorable recommendation, or provide a written unfavorable recommendation to the OLCC by 3/1/2026, requesting restrictions for any and all type license types, or provide a written unfavorable recommendation to OLCC requesting denial for any or all of the licenses attached to the list. Staff recommends council, take no action. Nothing meeting the URS criteria for an unfavorable recommendation has been documented for any of its businesses. They have the legal analysis down there below and the financial analysis as well. Any questions for staff?
Yes. Number 15 and 16, the prep kitchen and heirloom deli, are they the same? Are they two different businesses?
Two different businesses. The prep kitchen is out on the highway, near El Trio Local, a couple doors down.
Yeah,
And Heron Deli is in the store up here at Pacific Way.
they want a full liquor license, full on premise liquor license? No, it's a C1 zone. They don't get it.
Yeah,
Chad, that's the app I told you about that said progress. There's nothing submitted anywhere.
okay, so those two have paperwork that were, have they submitted any paperwork at all?
No, he brought it in and then he pulled it back out. So
And this is from OLCC, right?
They've been approved here, prep kitchen, but not here, but yes, I've read it.
Yeah, so we don't have any information in front of us about that yet. This list is from OLCC, is that correct?
no,
So
that
they-
list is our list. That is our renewal tracking and our new app tracking for the year. Those two at the bottom are new. They have nothing to do with the renewals, so that you don't be needing to worry about them right now. We don't
So
have the app back on, the deli.
That's for Christie's tracking. I know that he was talking about maybe some options, but he has not brought in an application to us, so he's not being considered. So
Okay.
don't consider that one on the list.
Okay, and is that heirloom?
That's everything.
Yeah, and prep is being considered.
Christie, where are we at with prep?
You guys just approved prep at your last meeting. They're brand
Right.
new. That's why it says it not applicable. Or new. You're only looking at the ones,
Okay,
that are
thank you.
renewals.
It's just. I knew about last month. I just want to know, all of a sudden it's coming up. It's non-applicable,
Yeah. good
so
catch.
it's already,
Good catch.
okay. All right, so anyone want to make a motion, or do you just want to leave it be and let OLCC go ahead and renew them? Because that is an option that we have.
I'm fine with that.
Anyone else?
I'll recuse myself.
Okay. Preston, are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, then we're done with that. All right, moving on. Appoint a budget officer, synopsis, please.
All right, thank you, Mayor and Council. The governing body of the city shall, unless otherwise provided by city charter, designate one person to serve as a budget officer. The budget officer or the person or department designated by charter and acting as budget officer shall prepare and supervise the preparation of the budget document. The budget officer shall act under the direction of the executive officer of the city, or where no executive officer exists, under the direction of the governing body, per the ORS. Your options are to make a motion that the city treasurer be designated as a budget officer, or make a motion that another person be designated as budget officer. You see our recommendation and legal analysis there. Any questions for Sam?
Okay,
I move that the city treasurer be designated as our budget officer.
I second.
any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving on. Approve the budget calendar.
Thank you, Mayor. The synopsis is, the Oregon Department of Revenue recommends the city prepare a budget calendar. The calendar maps out all the steps that must legally occur to adopt a budget and allows you enough time to successfully adopt a budget by June 30th, 26. City Treasurer Justine has prepared the attached calendar for your consideration for your 26-27 budget that will be approved via resolution. Council options: make a motion to approve the budget counselor or make changes to the budget calendar. Yes.
All right. Does anyone have a motion for me?
Move to approve the budget calendar as set forth.
Second,
Second.
any discussion?
I just want to let you all know that I will have to zoom into the April meeting. I will not physically be in town. And I will not, if there is a third meeting on May 20th, I will think of you as I'm drinking champagne on my plane to France. On my plane to France.
So we're not doing anything in April, that's just the notification, right?
No, April 15th is our
April's the second meeting.
No,
Or the first meeting.
First meeting.
the first meeting, April 2nd.
It was
So,
the-
No, so April 15th meeting, I will be out of town. So
okay,
I'll
thank
zoom
you.
in.
All right.
We could change that date. Are you on that?
I don't, no, I'm not gonna make, I am assuming that I have good, I'm gone that whole week, so assuming that I have good internet, which I generally do when
Okay.
I'm out of town, I will zoom in.
Okay.
All right, so did we get the motion?
Yes.
Did
And
we
a
get a second?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
I,
All right,
You a little busy, probably.
we,
council concerns, Preston, you got something?
Oh,
Dana, do you have something?
I do not.
Paulina, do you have something?
With regard to the post office, I'm wondering if there's a place for the city to encourage the development of the end of the street mailbox kind of situation as opposed to having a physical building for the boxes.
Mhm.
I mean, do we know how that decision will get made?
Post office has indicated they will make the choice of where the mailboxes will go, if you're talking street and mailboxes. And it could be that they don't have one at each street.
But I think what Paulina is saying is there a way that we as a council can make a decision and tell them which way we want to go?
Well, or, yeah, I mean,
Try to influence them.
do we feel anything about being involved or giving them guidance at all?
They will not let us. We might, as a whole, they might listen to us, but I have made so many calls to them and I tried so hard the last time we went around. And they really do not care about an individual counselor. Perhaps if the council as a whole were to voice something and put it in writing and sign it, it might get their attention, but I know individually, they don't care about our opinions.
Well,
May I just add, do we know, is it like a bidding situation where, you know, the lowest bid gets it or something?
Yes, they have a form and it's like just like a regular RFP and price point, they have a point system, they score it, so it's not necessarily the lowest, but it tends to be the lowest person.
So it's something we could put on our work session to spend about 5-10 minutes
Yeah.
talking about this.
I think we should talk about
The
it.
one coming up next week.
Would there be time to talk about this?
Potentially, I don't know how many options I could get for the council. I think that the last communication that we had from them is there were some options. The first option is they are hoping that somebody takes over the contract. And that it kind of continues through that building. I have not heard an update from anybody taking that up yet, but that possibly could be.
That's not necessarily what I'm saying,
Just
just
that-
what we can talk about, because I've heard some things also, but I don't want to drag out this meeting or get off our agenda.
thank you.
Sure, we could.
About
I just don't know
5 or
how
10
much
minutes,
information,
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So we'll, Ms. Christie, we'll have to look at doing that for our next work session, but yes.
You don't have a work session, you have a special council meeting, is that what you're referring to?
Oh, that's true. So the next session is not scheduled.
But we can make that sooner than later. We can just work around everyone's vacations.
Another work session?
Yes.
We can go.
We're gonna have to have another work session because we're gonna have to make some decisions on what we're gonna be talking about.
Maybe we can have a work session before our special session. Or special meeting.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll talk.
we'll look at it and then I'll reach out to you folks. We'll look at scheduling something and clarifying what those items are.
Yeah, okay. We will do that.
So my other concern then is just the noise ordinance and, briefly, some of the things that we looked at is, possibly putting something in there about gas power versus electric power, particularly for blowers, those seem to be one of the loudest things that we have to deal with. The 60 dBA on number 7, is that too low? Domestic tools, we might want to look at that. Lawn care equipment, what does all that entail? There's about 5 different places that Chief and I saw that we might want to take a closer look at in addition to the things that were lined out.
Okay,
So when are we gonna do that?
we're gonna do that in a work session. But it may not be the very next work session. We'll see what the priority is. And you're concerned. Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, may I make a quick statement? Just a real quick one. I know I'm a loud turn, but I just wanted to say something.
Okay,
I wanted to address the comments regarding the management of our fire department. I want to stand behind our fire chief and our volunteer firefighters all day long. They put in an extraordinary amount of time and service to this community, and I'm proud of what they do. Concerns about department management or personnel are serious matters. We always encourage those to be brought forward ahead of meetings so they can be reviewed properly. Facts can be gathered, and council can be involved if appropriate. Raising them publicly without prior discussion makes it difficult to address difficult to address responsibly and fairly. I'm always open to those conversations through the right process, but tonight I want to make sure we stay focused on the facility needs, long-term safety of this community, and our volunteers. Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Mayor, Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Christie.
there is a hand up online, though all public period has passed.
We didn't have a public hearing, did we?
No.
But we did have a time for.
I said public period.
3-minute comment, Don.
Oh, I'm so sorry for ignoring that. For some reason, I guess my need to get out of here fast is,
Well, it wasn't up during the public period. That's what I'm saying. The hand is up, but the public comment period has passed. Would you like to respond?
all right. Is that, I have no idea, Jillian? Jillian? Are you still there, Jillian? With your hand raised? I am not seeing any response from Jillian. That's Jylan, if you don't know what I'm saying. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll give you a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
I'm trying to get in, I'm out of order. Mayor,
Sir,
can we get your name and
address, please?
I'm getting there. Mayor, Council, Mr. Sweet, I am field staff for Representative Cyrus Chavity. All I was doing was encouraging you on the transit lodging tax to get a hold of his office to share your ideas with what you would like to have with the TLT. And so, sorry I wasn't able to work your magic on this thing, but I hope that you can hear me.
we hear you, and you're a staff sergeant?
No,
Field
that's-
staff for Representative
Okay,
Cyrus
thank you.
Jav- And I'm encouraging you on transit lodging tax to share with him your thoughts about how it would impact you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
You do?
Yeah, he's here. Yeah.